I wanted to touch on moving on from Afrobeat battles, all that stuff. Yo, let's talk about Tekashi, man. He's the hottest nigga in the streets
Yeah.
right now, son.
Or
Yo, did you see his life? Did you see
man, that nigga came out with 4 of them, man.
Yo, wait. Now what do you call him again?
Richard Millie.
Richard Millie.
All right.
So there's a lot of questions. Because he's showing all this jewelry. Now, for those that don't know, let me explain. If you don't know about Tekashi 6ix9ine, I'm not gonna give you his backstory. Just go find out about him. He's a troll rapper that got in trouble and ended up somehow wound up in prison. His associates wanted to kill him. But not only that, he ended up having to snitch on his associates. And now he's out of jail. And as you all know, there's a huge thing in hip hop where you can't be a snitch. Like, that's a big deal. So right now, right, you have hip hop heads that have been a bunch of hip hop heads, a bunch of rappers that before he even came out, they were already saying that they're never going to do a song with this guy. You know, people are coming out, they were like, nah, he's a snitch, he's a that. And like I said, there's that no snitching campaign in hip hop that has been around for a long time. But I think that whole campaign is something that's more representative of the old school. Now, new school rappers still try to incorporate it because they want to feel cool and they want to feel like they're down with the streets, but they're really not. And you have this kid, Tekashi, who just got out of jail. He's being called a snitch. He's being called all these things. He's being ostracized by the whole hip hop community. There are people that even said they wouldn't interview him. Charlamagne said he can never bring himself to interview him. This is a kid that's just trying to do right for himself. I mean, yes, he definitely made some mistakes. Don't get me wrong. He definitely made some mistakes and he did some very, very stupid stuff. And he put his family at risk. But this idea that all of a sudden he's not worthy of I mean, come on, this is someone that was doing crazy streaming numbers.
First of all, check your phone. You gotta let YouTube into this.
All right, 1 second. Let me. Why you listening to what we're saying about Tekashi?
No. Oh, you talked about Tekashi already?
No, we just started talking about him.
Oh.
Well, I was talking about no snitching culture. You know how before he even came out of prison, you had people like Charlamagne, all these hip hop heads saying that they're never going to work with him. He was basically being ostracized. Now this guy comes out. Right?
Takashi's a little different though, but okay, continue.
So this guy comes out, right? He's been out for a few weeks, right? He hasn't said anything. He's been relatively quiet. What?
Bad boy. What you gonna do? That was interesting.
Quiet. But he made this. First of all, he put out a billboard out in
Times Square of all places. You know how many rappers are alive right now and never seen.
He put what? What did he do?
He put out a billboard in Times Square saying, "Yo, my."
He did?
Yes.
Saying what?
My song's coming out.
Oh wow!
You know how many rappers are alive today? I've never seen billboard on Times Square. Do you know how salty they are right now?
And then he said that he was going to come on live. He said 3 p.m. live. 3 p.m. yesterday, he was going to come on
the record again of IG
so
Live.
Everyone had been anticipating, like, because no one had seen him. No one had even seen what he looked like. He had been kind of relatively
here, nothing.
You know, and then he comes on YouTube. He started with YouTube Live. He goes on YouTube. They crash YouTube. They crash their servers. And I mean, apparently there were like 5 million there. So they crashed it. He was like, I'll be back in 20 minutes. He comes on IG Live. First of all, it's these two girls. I think his girlfriend and some other girl. They're dressed in this, whatever. They're dancing. And then, you know, they're playing his song in the background. They're in a bedroom. And then he comes out with the handcuffs. I'm telling you, this guy is a fucking marketing genius.
He's a troll.
He comes out with the handcuff. He's in his eyes.
This is 1 milli, man. I got 4.
He comes out with like 4 Richard Millies, right? I don't. Apparently, Richard Millies are like big deals, right?
They're like 600-700K.
Yeah, they're very expensive watches, ridiculously expensive. He comes up with 4 Richard Millies. He's got his same pigtail. He's looking crazy with his rainbow colors. And then for 5 minutes, he just goes on this rant and talks about how people counted him out. And before you know it, there were 2 million people watching him on a stream. I don't like the kind of advertising dollars that this guy is about to get. 2 million people tuned in. You don't get that like live. The record before that was what? 400,000?
I mean the highest.
It was 400,000. It was the Teddy Riley joint, right? Yeti.
I think it was. Did Teddy Riley beat Tory Lanez?
I think Teddy Riley beat Tory Lanez, and I think Tory Lanez may have come back. I don't know. It was between Teddy Riley and Tory Lanez.
But 2 million is a wonderful record. But then you now have so he goes on about, to be honest, he's a troll, and the only thing that I wouldn't say I don't like, but I think you should be careful about is this culture, that this stupid culture they have of this no snitching. Like, you have McNeil disappointed me. You have him going online, writing a whole Twitter thread about how Tekashi is he's this is why is everyone is on mute. Yeti and Daniel on mute.
Yeah, they put them.
Anyway, he has this whole thing about snitching, and the last person that came out to snitch, look him up, he died, and blah 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 blah. And what happens is you actually start to rile people who have that mentality up when you start saying stuff like that. Because here's another guy too who went to prison, and let's be honest, like, McNeil shouldn't be acting like he's a gangster. McNeil didn't want to be in prison, and if not for the intervention of Jay-Z and good lawyers and everything, like,
Yep.
he wanted to do to get out.
Yep.
Whatever he was in didn't involve him snitching on somebody. That's the only difference. So he shouldn't make it seem like, oh, I went to jail, I didn't snitch on nobody. But, like, bro, I'm sure if you were scared to be in there and everybody fought to get you out. So Tekashi did what Tekashi could do, which is snitch. And Tekashi said, these people don't have loyalty towards me. They kidnap
So
me.
they be loyal to somebody else, right? I agree with him.
Loyal to them. And then you start telling stuff like, oh, the person that killed, what's the name of the guy that died? Nipsey was a snitch. And, it's all unwanted now. So what happens is you start writing up this stupid mentality, and the thing that might happen to Tekashi, someone might actually end up trying to kill him. That's the problem that I think Tekashi should be worried about. But, if he keeps it civil, security, he might be fine. But he's a troll, and I love it.
He might be. He trolls a lot. He did. I do want to mention that he did apologize to his fans for putting, I guess, something about it, for putting his family at risk. And, he's like, he admitted, he's like, look, it wasn't worth it. And I thought that was important. He needed, because it's one thing to do all this stuff and troll, but then, when his mom's life was at risk, they were threatening they were threatening to super violate him. They were threatening his family. And, a lot of that was also stuff that he brought onto himself. So I felt like it was good that he at least took some accountability by saying that, look, it wasn't worth it. And I think it's important to send that message to younger kids out there so that they don't think that, oh, they can troll their way into some kind of
message based sense.
But that's why people don't like him, though, because they feel like he's doing that.
He's doing.
That's why people don't really
doing
mess with him. Because they feel like he's a troll and he's not really talented and he's basically messing around with people. The thing with me about the whole snitching thing, if you see a crime being committed, why don't you just say something? I would never understand that. But the whole Tekashi thing, you knew what you were getting yourself into as well.
Yes.
So you're gonna have to deal with the consequences that come with your actions.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean no snitching. Tekashi is not a.
I don't even think it's a no snitching thing. I think I think he went in there as an informant. I think the reason why he's handling it this manner.
I don't.
Yeah, and I think the reason he's handling it this way is because more or less, I mean, he's just trying to get out in front of the comments that are going to come. So he's trolling you so that you don't have anything to say. There's nothing to be said.
But he's been a troll regardless of when he wasn't in trouble. Like, he's been like he would.
He came out as a troll.
That's what made him big. So he would say, "Oh, I came up to your streets. You only get scared." But meanwhile, he went there at like midnight for like 10 minutes.
Oh, why are you messing with the street?
That's
not. I don't think about him. My beef with him is don't mess with those people minding their business.
I think.
Yeah. Well.
Is to blame for recruiting somebody. Like, look, they saw a cash cow. They saw somebody that can get money.
And they tried to take
true. Yep.
And it was fine. Like, some of these things you want to fit in. You want to feel protection. You want to feel whatever. But you're recruiting someone who's not really about that life. So he's going to do what he can do to help you guys and get away with. But the moment he stops getting away with, at this point, it's about him. I'm not a gangster.
But then why involve yourself in gangster shit when you're not a gangster? I would never go myself involved in that because I'm not about that life. I was snitch at the government with money.
But then you have choices.
So
right?
You have choices.
And he's not about that life either.
He's not.
He wasn't gonna stay in jail all those years. No.
Someone that was poor, he was dirt poor. Like, if you hear his origin story, like his dad was out of his life long ago. Like he really didn't have any resources.
Like many other people.
Yes, and he felt like his best chance to get out of. I'm not justifying it, but I'm just saying that I can see how it happened.
Tekashi did what Tekashi had to do.
I can see how
it came out as that life was before music.
Yeah.
So in Bobby Schmurder's mind, I got to do what I'm about with this life, which is no snitching, and I'll get extra years. That's his life.
Yeah.
Tekashi, music came first.
Mm-hmm. He did.
And came first, and then afterwards. So he's not about that life. So he made that stupid decision. Even Schmurder, I can say it might be a silly decision not to rat out people for extra time, but it's a mindset that he has.
Right.
And that's fine if you want to stay in jail longer for people. It's justified. He might know his reasons why, but Tekashi doesn't have.
What about the safety aspect behind it? Because that's a big thing too. I mean, a lot of times I think that people aren't snitching because they're trying to protect themselves and their family. I don't necessarily only believe it's just a street code.
But simply. Look at it this way: a Tekashi can afford. Look at what's the name of the guy who died last year or 2 years ago in Miami in his car. Forget his name.
Oh, XX?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have died that day. Most of these guys can afford security, to be honest. Tekashi can afford security, and he might actually survive the rest of his life being like this.
You think he can afford it now? There's nothing. He doesn't have any more money. All the lawyer fees and all that stuff.
I feel like he's protected. I feel like the government's going to protect him.
He has money.
But he turned that down, Danny. He turned down witness protection.
Yeah, he did.
He's spending money. He has money.
No, witness protection as far as going into hiding, but I still think he has some sort of protection. He would be that old as what he's doing now without protection.
2 million people
What'd
just streamed him on live. 2 million people just streamed him on live.
His label is going to hire security for him. FBI is going to give him security.
So you think the label, if he makes money for the label will stick with him. But if you're not making for the label don't stick with you if you don't make money for them. You know that it's a business.
He has had 2 million streams.
That's a stipulation. He won't come out without them protecting him.
That 2 million streams, he can write it for the next 2 years. Nobody.
True. You're right.
Easily. So 4 years. Easily. And to be honest, the longer this thing goes on, eventually to fade away from people's minds, and eventually, yes, you might have somebody who might still want to be looking out for you, but it's not that easy to shoot somebody who has security. If you're going to get shot,
no, you gotta shoot everybody. Get inside. Everybody's dying.
The guy who shot, what's his name, Nipsey. If Nip had security there, do you think the guy would have done that?
Oh, true.
He did, didn't he? The one bodyguard? No? I thought he was there.
I do think this represents something, though. And what this represents for me is a generational gap between old school hip hop and new school hip hop. Yeah. Old school hip hop, they're very big on no snitching. And I think this new school, new hip hop fans, I don't think they give a shit.
No.
They don't care. They don't care that he didn't live by the street code.
Corey, look at old school. All of them started off first as drug dealers and
that's true. That is true. So that's
it's music first. So they start with music, and then somebody else sees it, they decide, I'm gonna rep Bloods or Crips or whatever. So it's not really, to be honest, I don't even think like the gangs are really that pissed off or should be that pissed off knowing that, he's not. He was never one of them. They just.
But I feel like that makes them even more pissed because it's like, how dare you want to now appropriate our culture? Basically, was all he was doing.
Money from him.
Well, that's their fault, though, right?
Oh, that's why I said
that's their fault.
You brought him into this. This is a big cartel, big organization, and you brought in this rainbowed hair child. That's on you.
They brought him, and they made money from him. So, and that's what I'm saying is like, you brought someone who's not about that life. You made money from him. Trouble came. He's like, all right, man, fuck y'all.
And told him about your inner workings in such a short period of time. He was able to take down half the whole city. I mean, that's why he got so little amount of time.
And then you guys, you don't treat him well. You try to start doing stuff like kid. He's scared.
But why did they not treat him well? What did he do for them not to treat him well? What was he doing?
Started with him finding out that, people around him were stealing money from him.
Money. And then he started like signaling to kind of do his own thing. That was when he went on the Breakfast Club interview and he said, look, I'm kind of, he signaled that he was doing his own thing.
Yeah, so
when they were like, okay, we're gonna have to be. He cut them off. They were like, we're gonna have to super violate him. All that stuff was recording.
Like,
and he wasn't the only snitch. There were people within that organization that had
the driver snitched. Remember?
Had recordings. There are recordings of other people's.
One of the drivers had recordings of so many things that was going on. I don't like what the heck.
Did you see the Jess Hilarious? Did you see the clip she did about him? I'm gonna play real quick. I'm gonna play because it was too hilarious. I can't not. About Meek. Like, this is her idea of what Meek was doing when
he heard the news or when he saw the video.
Yeah, when Tekashi was busy streaming. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Check this out. Boom. Yeah, this is what she imagined.
Thank you for helping me come back.
Look at this nigga, man. Thank you for helping him come back.
Mate, check his milk.
Tell what your fucking lawyer. You's a bitch. You's a rat.
Check the milk, mate. It's too
Still
high.
got this nigga walking around.
Make sure the milk.
I got it. The fucking judge, man. That nigga's a bitch.
Oh my god. Me. Oh my god.
You shouldn't have had a birthday, nigga.
You're beating his
back. You shouldn't have
back.
had a birthday, nigga.
Give me my child. It's not that serious.
Man, lucky I'm getting so much money right now, man.
Oh my god.
I got a movie coming
Give
out.
me the child. Give me my baby. Me. Give me
Take the baby. Want the baby? Take the baby.
It's breaking up. You might want to. Yeah.